I might not even upload this. I might just blabber on and save it for a better video. But I was thinking of the difference politically, and actually I've been thinking this for a long time, but I haven't put it in video. The concept of harsh right versus hard right. And some people like to use the compass of libertarian right or authoritarian, where authoritarian right is more nationalistic or religious or racist, while the libertarian right is more about the capitalism, the money, and the freedom, or even in objectivism. Personally, I absolutely hate the political compass. I don't think it's accurate. There's actually a lot of errors. In fact, it fails to understand the nature of some of the rules and laws. Like, for example, you might be a racist person, but you might also agree that the government shouldn't have any legislative powers over people's races. So they should never make laws based on your race. Now, I've yet to meet someone who's actually racist but also libertarian. Libertarians are actually generally the least racist people I've met. But I'm sure some exist. I'm sure someone would be like, yeah, I hate that race, but I don't want the government to put laws on race. That's what I was thinking. First of all, the full compass is horrible, and in fact, you should definitely. There's a few other quizzes. Like, I'm making one that I think is way more accurate, because I don't think it's as simple as your better or worse. Now, there's the thing though. Hard right versus harsh. People tend to lump libertarians with the racists, and that's not true at all. There's actually so many evidence of it to be the opposite. Libertarians never, actually, in some places, some people would even say they're anarchists. But I think there is a heartlessness that it comes to libertarians. That's why I call them the harsh right, because I think they're a little bit harsh. They're not racist, sexist, xenophobe, homophobe, all that buzzwords. But they're a little bit harsh. They say, let's cut all the programs, or most programs, and let the people earn their way to the top. And there's a lot that's good about that system, so don't even get me wrong. But if anything, I feel like that system would also, a lot of people would die. And the way I see it is, if we cut every single program, like in Canada, if you cut every single welfare program and medications and healthcare, a lot of people would be able to have to fend for themselves. And I feel like not a lot of people would actually survive that. And also, come on, you'd never get the votes for that. So I think, and usually that's a right-winger thing. And I think it's a harsh right. Like, people say they don't care about poor people. I really don't think they do. But obviously, they're nowhere near as bad as the Nazis or fascists who actually want to persecute and kill people than that. But yeah, either way though, there's some libertarians who've told me they actually believe it will help poor people, and I do think it will help poor people, but I also think it's gonna hurt a lot of poor people as well. I don't think it's purely as helpful as people think it is. But hey, could be wrong. Again, this is libertarian right, not the far right. But definitely they're harsh. And I have a lot of respect for them. And objectivists, I think, are the best example. Most objectivists would end up creating a system that I think would pretty much have a lot of poor people just dead. But hey, could be wrong. But no, obviously, there's no debate that objectivist libertarians or objectivists are both. Yeah, they are nowhere near as evil as actual fascists. Nowhere near. Not even a good comparison. But here's the left, though. It's like, sure, let's help poor people. But the problem is a dependent system that you're just forced to rely on the government causes you laziness. That would lead to a different economic collapse. And I think much worse. So while I don't agree with the harsh right, obviously a full-on communist or socialist system would be much worse. Because the difference is the libertarians, objectivists, or anybody who I like to call harsh right, while their ideas might hurt or even possibly kill or end up in the death of a couple of thousand poor people, a full-on fascist, socialist, or communist system will guarantee the deaths of millions. So there's obviously, I think, a good balance of these two is something that we've all tried, and I think we all want to achieve. But right now in most countries, mostly Western countries, you're actually much closer to a authoritarian system than a hardcore libertarian system. So right now, a lot of people make the mistake of saying we're not, but no. Tyranny is actually much more close. Also, a little tangent, but the libertarian left. I'm sorry, I don't think that could ever exist, with the exception of a country like America, where you actually would have a strong defense of, your First and Second Amendment. But the problem is, the only person who I thought was close enough to a true libertarian left was Bernie Sanders. And that was back in 2016. I thought he was a real libertarian left. In 2020, though, he, for some reason, stopped. And that worries me, as like 2016, Bernie was like pro border control, pro limiting illegal immigration. And that, to me, that's a better system if you want to help the poor. But the issue is, though, is that again, he started becoming anti-borders and anti-guns, which, yeah, that's the issue. It's going to lead us to an authoritarian left. Overall, I'm sorry, I do not even see the libertarian left existing. It's the only possible country in the world that could possibly have a libertarian left would be America. But there's already so much gun laws that I don't know. See, the issue is whenever anyone tries a socialist system, it ends up in a tyranny. But in America, a system that's designed to be anti-tyranny, their constitution, seriously, and I'm Canadian, so this is not a bias. Even with America, no, it's slowly getting rid of that. So, and this is not even coming with the economic argument. Yes, a free healthcare system would completely slow down the innovation of new medicine, new technology, of healthcare. But But of course, you want to help the poor. That's why a free healthcare system would really significantly help the poor.